Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a while actually since I've done a little sit down video. Thought it was about time, especially at the moment where I'm in the middle of doing quite a lot of videos on my channel because I have the time and I have the motivation back, which is quite nice. I'm just going to talk about things today that are getting me through my situation in lockdown life and just things that can help motivate you if you're in a similar situation, or just, I don't know, it can help a bunch of different people. I think just thinking about those things that may help life be happier, and we can use these in normal day-to-day life as well. So yeah. Number one is lists. Lists should be your best friend right now. I know that they're mine. I've always been one for writing down things that I want to do because I know my memory is useless, so I always write everything down. And making a list just helps you get all those things that you've got in your mind, just taking it over, thinking, oh, I've got this to do, this to do, this to do, and sometimes it can just be very, very overwhelming. So I've always loved writing lists to get those things down so that I don't forget them, and also just to relieve my mind of just being overwhelmed and having too many things in my mind at once. So in the morning, sometimes I'll wake up and I'll think, right, what are the things that I want to get done today? Every day doesn't have to be productive. It could just be get dressed. Doesn't even have to be that, obviously. Wash your hair. It may just be those simple things that seem like just general day-to-day things that we've always been used to doing, but now it just seems that's enough of a task to do, and that's fine. So it can be simple things like that, or it can be a little bit more productive things if you want it to be, like cleaning cupboards out, sorting your clothes out, baking some cakes, something that you really wanted to get done in that day. So I like to kind of make myself a little list in the morning, and then I have a list on my phone that is literally ongoing all the time, and it may not be something that is for today, it may just be a bunch of things that I really need to get done over a long period of time. So list wise, it just really, really helps you just take control, and it feels so much better. So it feels so good to cross off or tick off those things that you've done on the list each day. Little weight off your shoulder every time you do. Also, list wise, shopping lists are a must at the moment, even more so than they were previously. Obviously, shopping has changed a lot. Going into a supermarket is not just, it's not as easy as it used to be anymore. It's quite a stressful experience, really. I think it makes a lot of people quite anxious. I know it does me sometimes. I just get really, really nervous about going out to the shop because you've got to face other people, you've got to try and keep this 2-metre distance. Making a list is definitely something that can really help you, so you're not having to think, because I'm getting so distracted by the fact trying to keep 2 meters apart and everything, and just coming into human interaction, which we're just not used to anymore. I keep making friends in the queues. It's quite weird, really, because if we were queuing normally, nobody would talk to each other, but I don't know whether it's just me, but I keep talking to people in the queue. We've got that 2 meters apart, but I'm like trying not to make that get in the way. I'm just like, no, I need to talk to this person. So yeah, I keep making friends in the queues. So because my mind's occupied with all that kind of thing, it's very difficult to remember what you wanted to get from the shops and all your shopping lists. So it's very important to make yourself a shopping list. It just makes it that much easier to go through that as you're going around, and you can be quicker as well, because I always find it's obviously stressful as well, thinking you've got to be fairly quick because you know that the people behind you are waiting to get to look at those products, so you've kind of got to move on quickly. So yeah, it just makes the whole experience a little bit easier for you if you make a list for that. Number 2 is to set yourself an alarm in the morning. Now this doesn't have to be done every single day. No, I don't do it every single day, but sometimes if I know I really want to have that productive day, I make sure I set my alarm. Maybe not quite as early as I used to set it for work, but just a little bit later, give myself a little bit of a lay-in. But 7:30 seems to be the time that I seem to be setting it for at the moment, and that's kind of like almost the time I used to have to be ready to leave the house for work. But now it's like, oh, I'll just roll out of bed now. So yeah, setting my alarm for 7:30 seems to be working for me on those days that I really want to get stuff done. I feel like it's just nice to not miss those early hours there have been some days when I've woken up at 10 o'clock and it's been absolutely amazing, and there's no harm in a slow day like that, but not missing those early hours when you do want to get stuff done is so important. Yeah, it's quite amazing how many hours there are in that morning section that can be put to good use really. There's quite a lot of things you can get done in that time. So I have been putting the kettle on and then just tidying around the kitchen from the night before, because there tends to be so much washing up after dinner's been done and things, after all our lunches from the day before. I don't know, are you one of these people that actually do the cleaning before bed in the kitchen? Because I find that very difficult. After we've had dinner I just want to relax and sleep immediately. I don't have the energy to start cleaning the kitchen, but it's very frustrating in the morning when I come to the kitchen and I'm just like, oh, there's so much, it's so messy. Anyway, I've been making the most out of those early morning hours to put the kettle on and then start tidying around while the kettle's on, and then I make a nice cup of tea. And by the time I've done that, to be honest, I've kind of like cleaned the kitchen up a bit, maybe not done the washing up, but piled it up ready to be done, and just kind of cleared the surfaces, wiped them down, and maybe put a load of washing on as well. So just to get that little head start for the day. Number 3 is to exercise. We have never had so much time to actually exercise. I always used to say, God, I'd be so fit if I didn't have to work, if work wasn't in the way. I'd get up in the morning and run and do yoga and do all these things, fill up my day with so much exercise, and then you realise that that still takes a bit of motivation, a lot of motivation. We are currently allowed in the lockdown situation here in the UK to go outside for one form of exercise a day, whether that be a walk, a run, walking your dog, a skip, whatever it is that you're going outside to do to get a bit of fresh air and do your daily exercise. I'm finding I'm getting quite a few motivated days at the moment, and I'm really enjoying going out running more than ever. I know there's been a lot of people who've never even run before taking up running now, because it is one of those things that being told you can only go out once a day to exercise is, it just I don't know, it makes you want to do it more, obviously, because you just think, oh, this is the way I can get some fresh air, this is the way I can see the outside world. So I think a lot of people are taking it up to be able to make the most out of that. It can be difficult, it can be much more difficult than it used to be, because you do have to make sure you've got all those anxieties that you have when you go to the supermarket of trying to keep away from people and things. But I just suggest try and find the nearest place to you that is as quiet as possible really, and somewhere that maybe just choose times of the day that you know are going to be less busy than others. Make sure that you choose paths that are wide enough, because I know there's certain sections of my run that I used to go on which I make sure I stay away from now, because I imagine going down it and I'm thinking there's no way I'd be able to get out of people's way. Because obviously as a runner it's our responsibility, I mean it's everyone's responsibility, but I feel like we have the speed to kind of like move out of people's way quicker than they do. So I feel like I've got a lot of responsibility to make sure I'm the one making the moves to keep out of people's way and keep that 2 metre distance. So yes, it's quite stressful sometimes to go out, but once you overcome that, I promise you it does feel amazing to get outside. Just make those small adjustments on where you run, and just make sure you keep aware of those things. So even if running isn't your thing, you can still get out and go for walks with your family, or I mean I like to, obviously I live with my partner Jim, it's just us here, and we're both currently on furlough, you know, we're not currently working where we're used to working quite a bit and not having this much time together, but we still do our own little things, and I head out on a walk occasionally on my own. So yes, I go running on my own, but I also just go for walks on my own sometimes. So even if you don't have somebody who you're living with you can go for walks with, head out on your own, put a little book on, stick some headphones on, link it up to your phone, listen to a book through Audible, which I've been doing at the moment, or there's loads of podcasts that are free, or you could just listen to music and have a little wander. And it's just so nice to get some fresh air and have some little time to yourself to think and enjoy being out and about. Doing yoga more often has definitely been one of the huge benefits I've found of having all this time. Yoga is one of those things that I did on the odd occasion. It wasn't something that I was doing on a daily basis, and at the moment I'm finding it so nice to just because the whole world is taking everything so slowly at the moment, it's really nice to have that time to yourself to go even slower and just really concentrate on yourself. And just honestly, I just find yoga, I don't know what kind of opinion you have of yoga yourself. A lot of people know different things about yoga. I didn't really know a lot about it when I started. I just knew it was really stretchy and hard. I don't even think I knew it was as hard as it is. It's really difficult. There's some, obviously you don't have to go intense and do all these really difficult things. Sometimes it can just be a combination of yoga and meditation and kind of just really just learning to acknowledge parts of your body and acknowledge your breathing, which is a massive part of it. I just think it really helps with anxiety and just helps you be in the moment more. I just kind of sit on that mat and everything else just kind of goes into the distance, and you just try and forget all those things that you've been thinking about, all those lists that have been taking up your brain, and you just kind of concentrate on yourself and your body. I'm just finding that doing it more often is making a massive difference as well. I was doing it like every few weeks, and it just, that downward dog position was just so difficult every single time because my body was like, what on earth is this position? I've never done this in my life. But doing it every other day, it's definitely getting easier to do, and it feels more natural for my body to go into these positions that before it just was not natural at all. I definitely suggest looking online for just some free yoga. There's so much out there. You've got YouTube where you can just watch so many different YouTube videos. You can search for specific things. I know I've done a few searches myself for lower back pain and hip pain, which I got a lot when I was first starting running, and you can search for yoga specific to those kind of things. So if you've got something that you really want to concentrate on and stretch, and yeah, you just want to follow a YouTube video where they teach you how to stretch those particular areas and just ease your pain, I definitely suggest searching for things in particular if you need that. Ones that I'd recommend is Adrienne on YouTube. She's like, I don't know, the main one really. I think everyone I speak to seems to know that one for yoga, so she's definitely a good one, and I used to only really follow her videos, but recently I found a local girl called Nancy, and her company is called Solstice Studio. Apologies if I've said that wrong, but she's the one who recently have really been getting into her videos. So she's got a bunch on YouTube, but there's also an online membership you can do, which I'm about to sign up to today. You get, I think it's only like £2 a week you pay, and you get 4 videos a week. I think that's definitely going to spur me on even more to get doing some. So I'm finding doing her videos, she's such a lovely girl, and we've never actually met, it's just literally through social media, and I'm finding following her is so much more relatable. It's just nice to see somebody more normal than Adrienne, if you're with me. She obviously when you follow somebody who does that as a full career, who does that as something that, I don't know, probably has a lot of money to do things like that, it just feels like you can't relate as much. Whereas somebody local who is from the place you're from, and you just feel, and she's kind of, I don't know, age-wise whether I'm closer to her, but I just find that watching her I can relate more, and I just feel more comfortable, and she's so friendly and bubbly on the videos, and she'll just make you happy. And I definitely suggest just giving her videos a go. Her yoga flows are beautiful and really helpful, and I'm going to keep doing them and sign up to this online membership of hers to give that a go, and encourage me to do, that will definitely encourage me to do at least 4 a week, which I think is brilliant. Number 4. I would say get doing all of those jobs that you have been putting off for ages. Those ones that are on the very bottom of your list, that stay on your list forever and ever because you never have time to do them. I definitely suggest getting stuck into those at the moment. Simple things like the other week I dusted on top of the wardrobes, which I never seem to get around to doing. I just kind of leave that and hope that it'll be fine. It's one of those things that you do your daily dusting, but for some reason you just ignore those little corner places behind the bed, or yeah, under the bed, or just those kind of places. Have a big clear out of your kitchen cupboards, have a clear out of your clothes. I know me and Jim did that the other week, and it is a bit frustrating because obviously most of the tip places aren't open. I know that a few of them are reopening at the moment, but most of them aren't open at the moment, so unless you've got somewhere to store things that you're trying to get rid of, it can be a bit difficult. I know my porch is like built up with bin bags at the moment from things that we want to take to recycling and stuff, which I will get around to eventually. So obviously I'm lucky that I've got somewhere to store those things. It can be difficult if you haven't, but I definitely suggest cleaning tasks if it's not clearing out. If you can't do that, cleaning tasks are definitely something that you can really get stuck into at the moment, and it depends what kind of person you are, but I know that myself, cleaning really helps me just clear my mind, and it just helps. If everywhere's clean and tidy around me, I know that my mind just feels a little bit less chaotic. For example, sitting down doing this video, I couldn't have done this today unless I'd already done all the housework, just because I just see things around that need tidying and it would just be on my mind, whereas now I've done all that so I can concentrate on this. Number 5 is to do a few little DIY projects around the house, depending again what kind of person you are, whether you like doing that kind of thing or not, and if you've got a stock of paint and things, because obviously that's difficult to get hold of at the moment, and also advise not to necessarily go out to purposely get hold of those things at the moment. But if you've got some little paint tubs around and you've got things that you just want to do a few paint touch-ups, for example, one of those things on my list was to top up, there's some little areas on my ceiling that just need going over with white paint. I think I've got some white paint somewhere deep within my garage, so I'm going to have to go on a mission one day to kind of find that paint to get on with that task. I had some grey furniture paint left over from doing my doors around the house, and I just kind of topped up some little bits on the doors that had been scuffed, and also painted something in my bathroom, a little cabinet, something that I'd just been kind of had an idea to do, and I just thought I'd probably never have gotten around to it if I didn't have all this time. So just little things like that. If you can find anything crafty or DIY around the home to do, now is the time more than ever to get those things done. My next tip is to pamper yourself. I am one of those people who absolutely love to kind of have a long bath and a nice pamper every now and again anyway. I at least do that once a week just to refresh myself and make myself feel all beautiful and relaxed. And now obviously there's kind of less, it's very difficult obviously for personal appearance and everything to kind of keep going with things at the moment, because you know you're not going anywhere, you're just stuck in. You might go quite a few days where you just can't be bothered washing your hair, and do you know what, that's good for your hair, so that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter, that's fine to do so. But sometimes it's really nice, it definitely helps me to take those moments to have a midday bath. Bath in the middle of the day is just amazing, because it's just something you're not normally able to do, not on your work days anyway. It's so nice to just have a slow morning and then have a nice midday bath and just do those little things like exfoliate your skin, have a nice shave. I find it's really nice to put on a nice hair mask or something, things that you don't have time for usually, because if you put a hair mask on, I don't know, you're thinking leave it on for like an hour or something, and you don't usually have the time to wander around the house with a towel on your head with a hair mask on. You know, until you have a second shower to wash it off. So it's so nice at the moment to be able to kind of find time to do those things. I like to put on coconut oil on my hair, sometimes leave it overnight or just put it on before a couple of hours before a shower, and it just leaves my hair feeling nice and soft after I've washed it. Yeah, have those slow mornings, and then maybe just pamper yourself, maybe have a little evening where you just put aside to have a nice bath and relax, or if you don't have a bath, take a really long shower, and I mean, watch your water bill, but have a nice long shower and use all the products you have and just moisturize your skin, maybe paint your nails, do all those things that just make you feel a little bit more human, because it is difficult to get out of that staining pyjamas. I mean, it's fine to stain in pyjamas. I mean, I love doing all that and then putting a nice clean pair of pyjamas on and still relaxing around the house, but it just feels so nice to be clean and fresh and pampered. I've started putting moisturiser on my feet and my legs before I go to sleep, and it's just one of those things that I'm always like, oh, I should moisturise more, and I just never get around to it, and now I'm like, now's the time. Put some moisturiser on my cabinet next to my bed, put moisturiser on my feet and my legs before I go to sleep, and it's just one of those little things that hopefully I'll carry on doing, but it's just nice to think about those things and start doing those things that we never used to do. My next tip is to do some gardening. It depends obviously whether you've got a garden or not. I have a front and a back garden, and oh, weeds are a nightmare. You weed the patio and then they just appear back again. But do you know what, I've really found it used to be quite a chore to go out and do the garden, and at the moment I've really gotten into the habit of making sure once a week I go out there and I mow the lawn and I get rid of any weeds, brush the patio, clear up all the leaves from all the trees that have all the leaves that have fallen off the trees and gathered up. But I've definitely found I've gotten into this habit of doing the garden and actually really enjoying it at the moment. I find that it gives me, for example, I went out this morning, this was yesterday, I don't know what day it is. I went out yesterday, went for a run, and then when I came back I thought, oh, I'm already sweaty and in my running gear, may as well just go into the garden, get the lawn mowed, do all that kind of thing. And it was so nice. I just carried on listening to my book and just had a bit more exercise as well. It's really like beneficial because it's exercise, fresh air, and you're getting the garden done, keeping on top of the garden. Watch Netflix. I definitely recommend get stuck into Netflix. Jim's gonna come and help me chat about how amazing Netflix is. Hi Jim. So this is Jim.
Hi. I'm the torso of Jim.
Well Jim, I'm trying to advise people on tips for lockdown life and things they can do to keep themselves busy. I thought Netflix was definitely a good one.
Just in case you didn't know already.
Yeah. Netflix.
A month and a half into Netflix. There's this thing called Netflix you might not know about. If you've withered away after a month and a half, we're here to say that there's this thing called Netflix. It's got movies on it and everything, and TV shows.
Alright, what have we been watching to keep ourselves going? How have you been keeping yourself occupied during this lockdown?
This video's not about me.
Oh, okay.
Netflix. Sponsored by Netflix.
That'll do then, see you later. I'm definitely finding so much more time to just binge shows. It's just great. You can start a show and then you can literally finish it in the day, depending on how many series there are, obviously. But there's nothing wrong with absolutely just taking some time out, sitting down, watching as many shows as you like, without thinking I should probably be doing something else. There's no harm in having days like that at all, and I've definitely had a chance to catch up on so many different TV shows. You can have those little movie nights, seeing as the cinemas are closed, just kind of have your own little movie night at home. And the last thing I'd just say is just don't feel too bad for not being productive. Don't feel bad for having those low motivation days where you're just taking time to look after yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that at all. I think now is the perfect time for us to just kind of refocus our mind on what is really important to us, and making sure that we have those moments of the days where we're just doing something that we love, doing something that makes us happy or makes the other people around you happy, and just enjoying the moments as much as we can right now, because it is a very emotionally draining kind of time. There's a lot of anxiety going around, a lot of things that would just, you know, these things out of our control, what's happening right now. So it's very difficult to just be normal. But there's nothing wrong with taking those days to just relax. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video here, and if you enjoyed this video please stick around and click like and subscribe to my channel. Lots of DIY things going on here because I'm finding lots of time to get stuff done around the house, and I'm popping up little weekly vlogs and day vlogs and things as well. Please take care of yourself, look after those people around you, and hopefully this lockdown will end at some point, but we've just got to follow the rules until it does. But hopefully we can take these little positive things that have come out of this, just this way of just living, of taking things slow and enjoying those little moments a little bit more than we used to, and not taking a hell of a lot of things for granted. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.